Everybody's got a price. Everybody's gonna pay.
He's here tonight. Got his candlesticks. We got it. Eddie Deck. Coming down. All right, who's last?
Repo Man.
We got Billy Cake here. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Woo! Getting this one started off right. Thinking. Bonfire Banter. We got a fantastic episode tonight. I'm very excited. Got my belt out and everything. We want to give a quick thanks to our sponsors, York Furrier, Ric Flair. I think he shopped there a few times. If he hasn't, Rick, go check them out. They're in Elmhurst, Illinois. More Brewing Company, thank you guys so much for those delicious beers we got to try last week. The mustachioed menace over there is a little upset. He needs to get on an episode where he can try some of these.
Always miss him.
Always miss him. You just get fed the artisanal hobo piss beers.
What are you going to do?
We have JPL. They just brought us some new firewood, keeping us nice and hot tonight. We also have Consume Cannabis. We're going to be trying out some fantastic stuff tonight. This is a new product they have. It's called Select. It's a squeeze bottle. It's a THC beverage enhancer. So we're going to be trying this out tonight. I'm going to try my hands at this. We'll see how the night goes. Should make for some interesting conversation later as the night gets on. Jay and Jill Create, you guys are part of the family. We love you. Claremont Collections, check them out. The best private car collection in the city. It's a museum. Check them out. Angel Fancy, fantastic new signage. Thank you, Margie. We really appreciate it. And Mike's Meat Market, best meats around. So, guys, and we got Len Oddity. I forgot about Len. How could I forget? Len is coming in tonight. Len, where are you at right now? What state are you in?
I'm somewhere in Texas in a safe house locked away.
Safe house in Texas. Len, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your wrestling background, brother.
Oh, man. I am the first and only split-tongued pro wrestler in the world. I also
Split-tongue.
Yeah, baby. I also hold 2 records for first no-rope barbed wire matches in a couple states, but basically for the past 20 years, I've been kind of letting some of the voices go crazy around here. And yeah, I'm not done yet. So
I watched some of that barbed wire stuff you did, those no-rope barbed wire matches. They're pretty intense. I really liked what you're doing there.
Well, thank you, Spanky, but that was actually me just having fun with a friend. Imagine if I didn't like the guy.
So I'd like to talk to Billy here a little bit, too. Billy, you've done a little bit of wrestling yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, yes. Started out as a kid fan, and one day I decided to join a fantasy camp with none other than Jimmy Blaze in Powell Entertainment.
Nice.
I had trained under him, Rough Crossing, and Scott Spade, and gave it a good shot. Got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And I tore my ACL.
Okay, sounds good. That sounds like a normal route for a professional wrestler. A lot of injuries.
Yep,
No
joke, man.
They like to say things are fake. You can't fake flying onto tacks, can you there, Len?
Thumbtacks, barbed wire. I've been set on fire 3 times in the middle of a match, knocked unconscious 4 times. It still went on autopilot and continued to wrestle. Almost had to have my left foot amputated at the ankle because I crushed it during a wrestling match and continued to wrestle for another 10 minutes doing the Shattered Dreams at the request of the fans twice.
I love it. Love the dedication.
Yeah. I just have a
That's
high
brutal.
threshold for pain. There's some things that are wrong with me.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't tell. Couldn't tell just by looking at you. We have Eddie over here tonight. Eddie's helped us out a couple different times with sound on a couple of our band episodes, and you actually came to us with this topic.
Avid pro wrestling fan. I just, talk about nowadays. Never been a better time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah?
I mean, there's so much going on right now.
Yeah.
We got so much to talk about. So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
happy
absolutely.
to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for giving us a topic, and this is what we're all about. You give us a topic, you want to come out, we're going to make an episode about you. So we really appreciate it. And then the mustachioed menace over there. So, Al, how did you get into this whole wrestling phase, fad,
So-
lifestyle?
Most kind of thing, like everybody loved wrestling as a kid because it's hard for it to not permeate society when through a lot of the 80s and 90s, it was some of the most popular television there was.
Yeah.
And, beyond that, I don't know, I always liked show production.
Yeah.
So, wrestling now as, my profession being show production is something of intrigue to me because they have some of the largest traveling shows that operate most frequently of any other thing on the planet. So
Are they still doing Raw every Monday night and stuff?
Yep.
This is the weekly
Yep.
thing, right?
Yep.
It's 3 hours long.
No, 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a show almost every day of the week.
Well, between different companies?
No, just WWE.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they got main event, 205 Live, I think they still have, and they got Friday
I thought
SmackDown.
205 Live got the axe.
Maybe.
Oh.
They got Monday Night Raw.
By a lot.
They got a lot going on.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are such beefcakes. This chair is sinking into the ground. We're gonna get them some support.
You guys are in, look at this, you're completely in the ground.
As soon as we got up,
Let me see how professional these guys are. They just went with it.
Yeah, I love it. They're just sneaking straight back. Say nothing.
We're all good.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're gonna
The
need
show
some luck
must
with the
go
front,
on.
Bobby.
There we go.
We haven't
The
had
best
that
part
problem
was
yet.
I was
Which is
just sitting here watching it slowly happen and wondering if it was my camera or
I
something,
think
or maybe
this works.
yeah, there you I was wondering why it looked like a lowrider seat over there. Like feel that seat before was a little taller.
This actually feels comfortable.
No. Now that we got you out of the mud, perfect. So when you got started in wrestling, there, Billy, was there somebody that you were trying to like emulate, or were you trying to, I feel like there's always some kind of impersonation, even as much as you try not to.
Oh man, I'm gonna get some heat for this. But when I first started the fantasy camp, I was first time I ran the ropes. I was thinking Ultimate Warrior,
Ultimate
I
Warrior.
was just running back and forth, and
Yeah.
the guys were
Grabbing
just,
the ropes and shaking.
They were just looking at me like, "F this dude." 'Cause they were not fans of him.
Okay, yeah. They weren't digging your Ultimate
That's
Warrior
a hard
style.
sell. No, nobody fucking likes that.
Why
guy.
is that?
He's a prick. And
Really?
Have you seen all the specials about him lately?
Not really. He was my guy growing up. It was my brother had the Hulk Hogan stuffed animal. I had the Ultimate Warrior one. That was my jam.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
The thing is, I still love the character
Yeah.
that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
But when you see his shoot interview and you see all these people saying all the same thing about him, and then when you hear that he made a kid cry by telling him to F off or whatever,
Yeah.
and then that's the reason why Vince McMahon made him make an apology video, and then he decided, oh, F this, I'm asking for more money. When you hear that whole story, it's like you kind of lost your respect for him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, let's also not forget that he started, wrestling under his actual name, and then for a while was called the Dingo Warrior or some fucking
The
stupid shit.
Dingo Warrior. Is this true?
Yeah.
Can anyone confirm this? Len, do you know anything about this?
The Dingo Warrior was actually a copycat they did, WCW. What
Oh,
ended up
okay.
yeah, there was
happening
more than one warrior.
My bad.
The Ultimate Warrior actually legally changed his name to Warrior. So, and
whatever.
one of the big things he also did was he no-showed an event last minute until he was guaranteed like quadruple pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
main event against Hogan, and he was just like, "No, I'm not going to do this match unless you give me like an extra $2 million."
Wow.
Yeah. And well, at any rate, his the Ultimate Warrior gimmick is kind of some bullshit in and of itself, because at that time Kerry Von Erich was known as the modern day warrior, and he was like a big pillar in other wrestling communities.
Okay.
Obviously Texas, where he's from. Yeah, fucking Von Erich Claw.
Okay, yeah. Put that on your face.
Yeah, but you know, Vince was trying to buy everybody up and couldn't get a deal out of Fritz, and you know, by the time they ended up buying his company, they wouldn't let Kerry use the gimmick Modern Day Warrior because they had fucking Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
So he was already sandbagged from the word go. It was a whole bunch of
the
bullshit.
leg.
Well, you know, that's obviously after his accident too. But
What is this accident?
Well, he had a motorcycle accident, and then they were able to repair the leg, and they told him, hey, don't go on it. And rumor has it, he was so damn hungry, there was a cheeseburger across the way at the hospital. He got up, didn't take the doctor's
Stood
advice,
on it.
walked on it to get the hamburger, and then he infected his foot or something to where they had to amputate it.
Oh my!
And he was
No,
literally...
they actually had to amputate it from the accident. He did what the burger thing was just a gimmick. If you want the shoot, they had to amputate it at the accident, and he actually wrestled the what was it? The whole second half of his career with a fake foot, and nobody knew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Hey,
yeah,
Yes.
Sorry, that's just rumor and
Yeah.
innuendo. I wasn't saying that was true. I just...
Yeah,
That's all I
no.
can...
It's a funny story too. I feel like that goes in with different gimmicks, and it's a fun story. But
No, rest in peace, Kerry Von Erich. He was a great talent.
yeah,
Or we know him as Texas Tornado from the WWF, but WCCW, man, we'll all remember his bouts with Flair and Jerry Lawler.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some pretty good stuff there. I was more so in the the era of Stone Cold and The Rock when they got big. So a little bit before that with some Arn Anderson and what were they guys? Oh,
Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen. There you go. Yeah. So that was more my era. But when you guys started, was it probably before then? What was kind of your starting when you guys started out? Getting interested in it. What were the main guys there at that point?
Oh, well, it was probably be late 80s WWF and late 80s, early 90s WCW, because my stepfather, for whatever reason, loved to watch wrestling, so that's all that was ever on the TV, so you kind of just get used to it, which is not bad because it was much more entertaining at the time,
Yeah.
but,
I don't remember watching Andre the Giant or any of those guys, but
Well,
it was right before when I started watching it.
we watched a lot of tape, too.
Okay, yeah,
So, I remember being a kid and, renting early WrestleMania tapes and shit.
Coliseum Video, baby.
Yeah.
What year is this from?
That's the video company that
Oh, gotcha,
released
gotcha.
the WWF videos.
Oh,
out.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I remember being a kid and seeing earlier WWF stuff, like WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah,
all the effing time. And those had some of the craziest matches with some people that most guys who'd say oh, I'm a huge WWF fan. You probably haven't heard of half of them.
Yeah.
Because they're from so long before. If you'd never bothered to go back and review the tape, you wouldn't know who the fuck they are.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably lost on some more novice fans like myself that got into it for a period of time, and I haven't really followed up with it. I haven't been watching, but yeah, I know the guys that in the era that I watched, but other than that, some of the rest of it's lost on me. But some of these old guys painted the way for some of these new characters, and they're definitely, I feel like, being lost in the shuffle a little bit here. So I like having episodes like this and be able to talk about some of these guys. But what was one of the guys when you first started that you really liked?
So I'm a bit younger. So I guess when I really got into it was about 2005, 6-ish. WrestleMania 22. That's what I remember.
Okay.
And then once I got into that, I was able to go back and watch the classics, the Attitude and all the old, like you said, Andre the Giant, the Ric Flairs, you know. I didn't have the luxury to watch that growing up. I was born later, so.
Yeah.
But
God damn it, start being bored earlier.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's your problem, bro.
I wish I could fix that, But I guess the biggest guys when I was watching, probably the last of the Mohicans, John Cena. There'll never be another big guy, in my opinion. I don't think they'll put enough into one person like that again.
Yeah?
That's my opinion. I
Okay.
think he's the last one.
Of being that
The-
superstar
yeah.
going after it. And
Look
going
what Hogan did, going
Yeah.
betraying them and other people, and I don't think they'll put themselves at that risk again. That's just my opinion.
That makes sense. How do you feel about that, Bill?
Well, I kind of have to agree with him.
Yeah.
But you're asking when I started watching?
Well, I was
also?
more so just kind of wondering, like, I didn't think, I've never even heard that point of view of, like, they don't want to put so much in one character because, yeah, you could just, they could pull the Ultimate
Well,
Warrior.
there was the
and
whole
say,
thing
yeah,
where
well, fuck you.
the Stone Cold took his ball and left.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
Well, it was discussed on the podcast, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that all about?
My understanding is basically he didn't like the direction that they put him in, the storyline. So he just said, "That's what we're gonna do," and they're like, "Yeah." So he just didn't show up.
I think that was when they wanted him to lose to Brock Lesnar.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Okay.
I think I seen it in a documentary that was recent.
Yeah, but they should know that was coming. The reason they hired Steve Austin back was because he finally stopped giving a fuck, and they went, "Oh, we can use this guy as our not give a fuck guy."
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the exact same time they were doing the what gimmick and he was singing on stage and all that shit. That's actually exactly what happened. He didn't like the what shtick and he got so frustrated with the whole thing and got tired of being a joke at that point, from my understanding. And he was just like, fuck it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then what was it? Are you talking about before he became Stone Cold Steve Austin?
No.
His
No.
previous
He
character
was
before
already
that?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
This
because
is
he
like,
got he got the belt at like 99 from Shawn Michaels, and that was him and Tyson was or 98. Yeah, and Tyson was the ref and stuff like that. I've been watching it since the early 80s. I'm 40 years old. So I was raised by it by my grandmother. That's why I got into wrestling, because it was literally sitting next to this 4.5 foot hunched over old woman with big bottle glasses and a walker and a cane off the side. And if you sat too close to her, she'd be smacking you while watching the TV. If she could have hit you, she'd be throwing shit at the TV. This woman actually got kicked out of ECW shows. We went to ECW shows when I was a teenager in New York. And we went there and she tried to hit one of my trainers. I tried not to name drop earlier, but I actually used to be the head trainer and trained by Justin Credible and Jason Knight at their wrestling school in Waterbury, Connecticut in 2006 to 2011, I believe. I get hit in the head a lot. I forget my own name sometimes. But Credible actually remembered her because she clocked him with the cane that night. She hit 3 guys and got booted.
Just hitting people with canes.
Can I just say your grandmother's awesome?
Yeah.
She was insane, and she encouraged me to do all this shit.
That's awesome, though. That's great that she was an inspiration. Yeah, cheers to her. Absolutely.
But
so what
I don't
was
have a beer, but I have a half gallon of chocolate milk.
Hell yeah. That seems right on character with you, Len.
This is actually gallon number 2. I have such a high metabolism. I drink 2 gallons of chocolate milk a day.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Vitamin D
Because
or
if I
skim?
did it, I'd be skinnier.
Yeah, we need to get you like a Colgate sponsorship or something like that with all that goddamn sugar, Len. You'll rot them damn teeth out of your mouth.
Wait, I
got some pirate teeth.
Oh, you had a couple there?
Got to ask, chocolate milk, vitamin D or skim?
Oh, full whole milk, protein powder and everything to get the chocolate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's pumping it up a little bit.
Vitamin D all the way.
So, Len, who was your grandmother's like favorite wrestler?
She actually towards the end before she went, it was Stone Cold. She loved Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
But
okay.
she also got she liked guys like Dominic DeNucci and Lou Thesz and stuff like that. So I was watching like wrestling matches from like the 70s and the 50s and like really old stuff at the same time. She also liked Macho Man. She loved Macho Man, even though she hated how he treated Elizabeth. Yeah.
Oh yeah!
Taking out from the top rope after I do this line of coke. Yeah.
Was that the whole WWF at one point in time? I don't know. Maybe we.
Have you ever watched a Macho Man promo? Oh, I am the cream of the crop. As he puts a creamer on top of his head and balances for a minute.
Let's see. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
No, let's see. Thinking.
thinking. And I am the Macho King Randy Savage, and I'm gonna take your career. Ooh, did I say what I think I said? Ooh, yeah. You're going nowhere. Bonesaw is ready.
And he threw
Sorry,
in Bonesaw. This man
I'm going
gets
from
10
WrestleMania
points.
7 to Spider-Man.
It doesn't matter. It's fucking hilarious.
That was great.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You please finish what you were
Oh
saying.
no, I was just going to talk about the one where Mean Gene was fucking with him during a promo. He did so much coke beforehand, he kept making him do circles. Macho Man's is like, I did a full 360, and then Mean Gene goes, "You mean a 180?" And then he goes, "Yeah, 180." He goes, turns around and goes, "Another 180, another 180." And he just looks at Mean Gene afterwards. It was fucking hysterical.
Oh man, Gene Okerlund is a goddamn national treasure.
So is Bobby the
Yes.
Brain Heenan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, Heated was underrated. Heated was so underrated by so many. He really should have. Oh, I loved Heated. I
Yeah.
loved him in WCW. Anytime he was on the mic when he was doing commentary, it was just
Oh, pure gold.
You know how Undertaker
Yeah.
got that urn? The old-fashioned way. He earned it.
So are these guys getting scripts? Is this all like improv off the cuff? What do they do?
It was improv from what
Was it?
Bruce Pritchard says on his
Yeah.
podcast. That was just
From-
Heenan.
It wasn't until after the Attitude Era, the late 90s, early 2000s, when they started doing the invasion angle, that they really started to like script down the new talent. Really, you could actually see it with guys like Cena when he started coming in and he started doing the rapping gimmick. Like that's when they really started hardcore scripting all the promos, and then on it gradually increased. I actually had a short stint in OVW when it was the subsidiary of WWE in 2007. I was there for a couple months, and I left under my own accord when I found out the contracts for like they have a tattoo clause in the section, and then they have a whole nother section that I didn't agree with. But when I found out the tattoo policy there, I was like, no, I'm going this way and doing my own shit.
Why? What was the tattoo policy?
Actually, if you watch Total Divas, when Paige was in it, they actually have a whole like 5-episode span about it. But I found out about it a decade beforehand. The tattoo policy, thanks to Perry Saturn, not his fault. He was very smart about it. He started getting heavily tattooed. You know who Perry Saturn is? WCW, kind of
The Rings
weird
of
eyes,
Saturn,
but-
I think was his move, right?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes, sir.
He started when he was in WWE. He started heavily tattooing after the Radical gimmick all up his back and into his head and stuff. And they actually went to him and said, "You're tattooing too much. We can't market you." And his response was, "You don't own my body." So, and this is like 2004-ish, 5-ish, or like a couple of years right before I got there. And he basically they gave him the mop, and he did the moppy gimmick, and that's how they got rid of him. But he made chicken salad out of chicken shit. And everybody after that, they put a clause in where if you're going to get a tattoo, you have to take a picture to size of what you're getting to them and tell them where you're getting it, and they have to approve it. If they don't approve it, you can't get it. If you get it anyways, one of several options happens. And this is me doing the shoot thing. Option number one, you're completely fired and you have to buy out your contract, which means whatever you were going to get paid for the rest of your contract, you now have to pay them.
Wow.
Or you get fined heavily and then you get your spot dropped down onto the card. And that actually happened to Paige as well. Or you get leave of absence and completely dropped from TV altogether. Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea about the tattoos. I guess it makes sense. They're trying to market people, and it's like
It is a
if it's-
business.
if it's not going toward the path they have figured out for you, and it's messing up the characters in their minds, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the duplicitous nature of how they treat their quote independent contract.
Yeah.
Like they're not actually independent contractors because
they're
they can't do whatever
employees.
the fuck they want.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's where it goes back to how it's changed from scripted back in now to back when it was in the 80s and 90s and shit, when it was on the fly. You could just go do shit like that because, it was just, okay, we're going to go with it. We have an idea and now we're going to throw it together because each wrestler had an idea of who his character was. Now you have mostly talent being told what to portray. So, and On a shoot level, I have too much creative integrity to let somebody tell me who the fuck my oddity is.
Yeah, hey, that's pretty badass though. You weren't willing to succumb to the man. You know?
I'd still
Fuck
work
the
for
man.
him. Don't get me wrong, but I would be like, no, I'm not doing that. This is the way it's going. If you don't like it, I don't need this in my life.
Oh, that's good. So some of the most iconic matches I know are at WrestleMania and stuff like that. But can you guys think about one that like really like made you stop and go, this is my favorite? Like this was it. Because I know that the one I'll start it off was, I believe it was HBK had and what was the move? It was the leg move that he used to put everybody in. Not the kick. It was his submission move for Heartbreak Kid. Anyways, he's got Stone Cold in it, and Stone Cold blood is just streaming down his face.
It was
No,
Bret
you're
Hart.
thinking
I was going to
Hart.
say, this is
It's
Bret
Bret Hart.
Hart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that's
thinking
Bret Hart.
97.
It was
I was-
Bret Hart.
I was-
It was not HBK.
I was
Yeah,
there for that
It was
match.
Bret Hart, yes. And it was in Chicago.
Yeah, it was in
I
Chicago.
was there as well.
That was Bret
Yeah.
Hart.
It's Bret Hart. Sorry, I
He
was
had him in the
misremembering that.
sharpshooter.
Yeah, sharpshooter. That's what it was.
Yep.
It was Bret Hart, sharpshooter. Yeah, with the blood
And they
streaming
use
down
that
his face
picture for like T-shirts and shit for years.
for everything for years. Yeah,
I was the only person rooting for Bret Hart in that
yeah.
arena.
The whole arena. I was
Oh,
there.
the
That
arena,
night.
yeah,
That was the
the
first
arena.
wrestling event I ever got to go to, and it was a special.
I think the most famous match ever is WrestleMania 3, Hogan and Andre. I think that's the one everyone knows, everyone looks at.
Is that the one where he picks up Andre?
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that's
divided
the
slam.
biggest one. I mean, everyone goes to that one. It's
Yeah.
the easiest one to go to, but
Yeah,
But
but
something needs to be said about
right,
it.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
worth
the
mentioning.
stupidity is that that's not like the first time that they'd done that.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
they had,
just
they
Right.
had been in baseball stadiums wrestling each other
Yeah.
way before
Yep.
that.
yeah, and also
Oh, yeah.
and plenty of people had slammed Andre, especially
Oh yeah.
Kamala?
yeah. A lot
Kamala
of people
slammed
don't
him?
remember, especially early. If you see early pictures of Andre, you'd be like, "Who the fuck is this dude?"
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like super thin, fit motherfucker,
Really?
like, but just really goddamn tall,
And he was
Curly
really
hair.
athletic too.
incredibly
Yeah,
much
he had
so.
the
There's
fro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
there's pictures of him like
Holding
doing
up, like,
drop kicks and
So
shit.
many women.
Can you imagine fucking
Yeah.
Andre the Giant drop kicking some
No.
shit?
You know what? I seen a picture
That
and
look
it's
insane. The guy's so fucking huge.
you guys ever seen the photo of Andre holding a can of beer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That, it's
I
just
think the
insane.
canvas
It's,
is-
like-
just insane.
It's like
And,
this.
and that's
yeah.
one of those. And that's one of those Australian beers that are made bigger. It's like one of those
Is it
Australian
really?
beer cans that are actually bigger. Yeah,
Fosters.
it's not a normal
Wow.
beer can. Yeah, it's Foster's. Yep.
Foster's
Australian
for beer.
It'll get you drunk. No, I think it's a
I
different.
think he holds the world record too for most beers in one sitting.
I think it was Ric
yeah.
Flair claimed it was 26 or something in one sitting.
That can't be enough.
Mhm.
No, it was way more than that.
fucking.
Maybe
It was like
maybe
almost,
in
it was
an
like
hour.
100.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe. Sorry, I'm getting
It
a little
doesn't
buzzed
matter.
myself, so
But
apologize. For,
Jake Roberts said on Rogan's podcast, was that like 2 years ago? He had a story about how he was Andre's van driver,
Yeah.
and he made him stop, and like in between, it was like a 2 or 3 hour fucking drive they're on. He pounded a 30 rack, never got out to take a leak, and fucking
Okay.
Jake Roberts had to get stopped to piss twice. Like he's a fucking
and
enormous person.
I think we're leaving out the fact that he couldn't use the Japanese toilets. So what did he do? He had to use the frickin' bathtub as a toilet.
Oh my God, that makes sense.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
like
Thank you for reminding
airplanes,
me
they
of
give
that.
a
I
bucket
tried
and
forgetting
shit.
about that one.
Oh, and let's not forget about
wipe with the bath towels too. Right?
yeah. Let's not forget about what he did to poor Bad News Brown in Mexico.
Okay, I don't know about this.
I'm gonna let you take this one if you know what I'm talking about.
If I'm right, this is when the ring was hot and they were sweating like motherfuckers, and he ended up hiking up his shorts and just sat on his head.
Is that what you're
If
talking
I'm
about?
right, if that's the right
Well,
one, if I'm wrong, I don't know.
This was near the twilight of his retirement, literally, right, almost close to when he died. But he was wrestling in Mexico right after he left the WWF. He had a match with Bad News Brown, Yokozuna at the time, and Bam Bam Bigelow or whatever. And he said to Bad News Brown, they had some history together because Andre and him had butted heads a little bit. But they were okay then, but then he's like, okay, I'm big ass, man. I'm going to give you my finisher. So he goes to give his finisher, but his stomach wasn't feeling too good, and
Shit his pants.
yeah, shit all over him.
Nope, not the one I was
is
thinking.
funny.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
It was Bad News talks about it in a shoot interview, and he was like, man, I just ran back and I had to go straight to the showers.
Oh my. That is brutal. That's I mean, he doesn't have small turds either, I'm guessing, and or the amount of shit was probably not small.
He
From
was
a
a
man
big
outside.
dude, and you know what? Let me just tell you something. From my experience, you always went to the bathroom before your match.
Yeah, that makes
because
sense.
sometimes you can't control when you're taking a bump. You can't control your bowels sometimes.
Yeah.
And there have been nasty stories. I'm not going to say names or whatever, but there's no shame in it. That there have been accidents out there due to it.
I'm sure. You're picking up guys
seen it in
and doing
matches.
crazy stuff. You've seen it, yeah? Yeah.
I won't drop names, but let's just say that wrestler should not have been wearing lime green tights because they weren't lime green down the side. And he took the double stomp right to the gut.
Just exploded him out. Just spray fought. Into dinner tonight.
I'm having PTSD. Good thing I have the card for it. Oh God.
That's the kind of funny things I feel about wrestling, as far as some of the injuries and some of the things that happen, or some of the funny stuff like that you never even know about. You can even get into some of the like tragic things that have happened. You know, Owen Hart, falling. I remember watching that pay-per-view and it just cutting. He fell from the rafters and it just went black. And we're like, whoa, is this part of the gimmick or what's happening here? It was like, no, dude fell.
That's when you know it's for real.
Yeah, it's again, you can only fake so many things. I mean, it's fake to the sense that there's a storyline that you're following, but guys are really
when it
throwing their bodies
happens
around.
when it happens to one of the greatest talents,
Yeah.
probably in this industry, it hits you hard.
I'm sure those guys struggled for a while with that. And I know a lot of those guys, run into substance abuse problems and stuff like that. I don't know how much that has to do with losing buddies or injuries and the pain you got to be dealing with on a day-to-day basis, but it takes a toll.
There's actually a really good show that Vice makes called The Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes, I've been watching it.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I think it kind of gets you in the mindset of what these guys deal with on a day-to-day basis and what they go through. And,
Yeah, it's a complete. It shows you behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I think
the stuff that you don't hear about when it's
definitely.
going on.
Yeah. I know. It's. I don't know if you guys seen the Herb Abrams one. That one's
Yeah.
hilarious. I was laughing so hard. I didn't even. I knew nothing about that. and
I love the Herb Abrams one.
hilarious, Mr. Electricity. Come on,
I've not seen that.
you gotta
Yeah.
see it. It's
I'll
yeah.
Last one I watched was the Benoit stories. So yeah.
That was
Benoit
bad.
was even
That-
darker. I was just going to
Yeah,
bring
that was
that
terrible.
up.
That's a sad one.
Very brutal. And he was supposed to do like a show that night, and they're all trying to call him and like figure out like where's Chris at? Where's Chris at?
And that's a big thing. That's a big thing where they really get into like his brain in that aspect, because he was one of those wrestlers that would take chair shots to the back of the head. That flying headbutt would jar you every time. I know. I used to fucking do it. There was never a point when you would do a flying headbutt and you didn't see fucking stars.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well,
it does affect your brain.
Yeah, well, correct me if I'm wrong. Like everybody that did it had some sort of mental problem, right?
the
Like,
flying headbutt.
oh yeah, like terrible fucking like concussion
Dynamite Kid
issues
ended
over
up
time.
having spine issues because of it.
Yep.
Well, if I'm correct, I think they did actually look at his brain after he was deceased, and like they said, he had the brain of like an 80-year-old dementia patient. Like
Yeah.
it was that bad.
Yeah, you just it's bouncing around in your.
It's the same thing you're seeing with all
skull.
the football players.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's the
same kind of
exact same
situation.
thing.
And the same kind of stories. Junior Seau did almost the same thing that Chris Benoit did. Very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, take those impacts over and over and over again. That's yeah. Well, OJ might have also.
O.J. Simpson.
Never know. His head, I think, was always swelled to a large size, but I
You know,
don't know if that was from the impacts or just him loving the spotlight and getting away with what he could get away with. But an interesting one too.
that makes me want to introduce a question.
Yeah.
Did you guys see AEW Wednesday, the Gage Jericho match?
I didn't see it, but I saw some highlights, and you know, I have my thoughts about Gage in general, but that's neither. here
Right.
nor
I mean,
there.
are we a fan of that type of match? I mean,
I think it's a little much.
I personally love it. I think
Explain
it's
it a little
you
bit
know,
though. Go into
Okay,
detail
like-
here a little bit.
You know, think death match, like anything goes kind of bullshit. But the
Light
reason I
tubes.
don't,
Okay,
I-
yeah.
that's the thing I don't like is the fucking light tubes.
I could yeah.
The
they're-
halogen dust and shit.
Right.
It's toxic shit in there.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that this same fucking clown shoes motherfucker is the dude that almost killed David Arquette in a similar fucking death match a couple years ago. Like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like, you have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah.
And when you're fucking with giant pieces of broken glass,
Yeah.
and around people's necks and shit, like this guy tends,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, I think you are crossing into a territory where, you know, the outcome isn't as controlled as it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Len, how do you toe that line?
Because I know he's going to have a different.
that's why I
Yeah.
want to ask.
I need to speak up because I am a deathmatch. I've been doing the deathmatch since 2006. I got pigeonholed. I got pigeonholed into doing it. I did one hardcore match. They're like, "Holy shit, you can take a beating." Yeah. And since then, hardcore. And then I got just spiraled into death matches. There is a place for death matches. On a personal note, I have been on shows with Gage. We want to work each other. We haven't had the opportunity. I respect him and like him. Jericho, he's definitely one of the top 10 reasons why I'm in the business. My only issue is that should not have been a TV show match. That should have been a main event at a pay-per-view with disclaimers on before. Like, there is a place for deathmatch wrestling, hardcore wrestling. You have to like almost put the spectrum back on, very similar to when you're dealing with Undertaker versus Mankind, because they had those matches, they had the deathmatch style matches, but it was a build, you know, and it was always those top tier, like bloody, gory, you know, ridiculous matches. Hell in a Cell.
Mankind was always involved. Mankind was always involved in those Cactus Jack and.
Well, he's you know one of the original. Him and Terry Funk made a living off that. They were the first ones to you know be deathmatch wrestlers like at a famous level like that.
They brought it over to the United States. Right. Foley and Funk, those guys brought deathmatch wrestling to the U.S. And you know, I see the places for barbed wire matches. You know, my only issue, like I said, the match I've had death matches where it's ridiculous. Oh, and just to clarify something. Any good worker worth his salt will specifically go out of his way to actually get light bulb tubes that are economically friendly. They will not get the ones with the mercury and the powder in them and whatnot. I know because I've had to use them before. I don't like the light bulb tubes because it's like being on the beach while you're already covered in oil, except sand that gets stuck in every little crevice of your body is actually stabbing you all at the same fucking time.
Yeah, that doesn't
I had
sound
a 4-hour trip from Jersey after a death match with Balls Mahoney on a pay-per-view, and he body slammed me onto a table with literally a stack of 40 light bulb tubes on it. It was the flare bump onto it, and the table didn't break; it just fell on top of me.
Oh,
no, and I just want to clarify: I'm not taking away from death matches. I'm saying that. For what there was no build to this. There's no effing reason for the match in the first place, and for it to be a television thing, I 100% agree with you. Like, you have to draw those lines somewhere. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have any fucking death matches. I'm just saying that if you're gonna go to this extreme, there has to be a reason. Number one, and number two, you know, obviously the parties involved had to be 1,000% comfortable with one another, and. You know, look, I'm not here to speculate or tell you who's a good person or a fucking bad person, but I know that this particular individual has had bad press. So, you know, if they think that's what's good for their business and company, then good on them. But I don't necessarily see it as a long-term strategy myself, right? Especially considering that the storylines in their product is trash and never extend as far as they should first. But that's a completely
talk about
separate
AEW
conversation. Yeah.
Really? Oh, I think it's much better than Raw.
I don't watch Raw either because I'd rather watch like 30, 40-year-old wrestlers.
Right.
Like,
well, my take on the Jericho Gage match is we're sitting here talking about it right now. Their ratings went up. it seems to be getting them a buzz. So I mean, technically that worked for them, didn't it? I mean, that's the whole goal, right?
I was actually just gonna say his response to Gage is exactly what Gage wants.
Right, that's what they want.
I'm not saying it doesn't work.
He is a good heel because he gets you to not the bad press. He does his shit. But I do agree, there should have been pay-per-view and like warning labels, fucking warning labels.
Now, I listened to the Busted Open podcast, and Bully Ray or Dudley.
Yeah.
He said the one thing that he would have done different is have MJF come to the ring and say, "Oh, Gage, you're crap. You're an independent," and set up another storyline there. I would have liked to seen that. I think that's a great idea. I can't take credit for him. It's his idea, but I think that would have been really cool to see.
Well, do something.
Right.
Like
I don't know if we'll ever see him again on AEW.
Well, they were testing it out. I know the pizza cutter thing has gotten backlash.
What is this?
Oh, that's his gimmick. Gage is the pizza cutter. He takes it and cuts people's heads.
I don't know if I don't know if they planned this bullshit or if it was serendipitous, motherfucker. But old boy's taking the pizza cutter to dude's fucking noggin, and they go to a picture-in-picture of a Domino's commercial, and Domino's is like, "Yo, dude,
Domino's,
we don't know about this."
Yeah,
we were not okay with this. We had no support. They overreacted.
They've got a national brand. They've got shareholders. They got their shit, man. Like you gotta, you know what I mean? And
Pizzagate Part 2.
My other thing. Like, this company's trying to play the game. They're trying to build themselves up, and they're pissing in sponsors' faces, whether by complete accident or not. Like you got to watch out for that shit.
Yeah.
Because if you start putting on too bloody a product or too crazy a product on your regular television programming. Yeah. Eventually you might ostracize yourself from the people that are paying to keep you on the air. So that's
with that in mind too. Don't pee by our firewood because you'd be pissing right on JPL. Okay, so if you guys got to pee in the yard, stay away from the firewood. All right, JPL Property Services in Elmhurst. Yeah, back to the.
That's an excellent product placement.
Actually, if I could just say one thing, I do agree with you. However, I think what it caused is a shock factor, and that shock factor, with Domino's and everyone's like, "Oh, did we go too far?" Isn't that what made us watch during the Attitude Era?
Right.
And you're. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but what I am going to say is that the landscape has also changed as far as the power that the advertisers hold and the power that the internet Karens hold.
No,
right?
I do agree with that. Yeah. But it's kind of a point when you want to have a little bit of what I'm saying and a little bit of what you're saying to, please all audiences. But it's really the shock factor that when we have the popular times of wrestling, that's when people are like, "Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, what happened?"
And for sure, and not to go full Jim Cornette though, but how far can you take it before it just turns into a shit fiesta?
That's kind of
Give
what
me a double cheese, triple cheese.
Yeah, but I always wondered when I was watching it growing up is seeing the ECW and seeing the Dudley Boys start bringing out the tables, ladders, chair matches, and like where can you? There's a cap here somewhere, right? Like how you can't.
Well, you're gonna bring a machine gun?
That's
what the fuck are we getting at?
Well, when was the last time we've seen anything like that on WWE? Probably like the ECW Invasion era.
Well,
when WWE
is
bought
a different
them.
beast because they're publicly traded. They have shareholders they're responsible to.
Right, but I mean, I would like to see a little bit more of that, a little bit more realism to my wrestling. It's just I hope this encourages. I hope this encourages WWE to come up with a better product. That's what I want, I think, and that's why I think, it's good. It's good for wrestling in general. It's good. We're the ones winning here.
Yeah.
The fan,
I'm not saying we're not winning. I'm just, it pains me that the one product is stale and boring and you see the same people wrestling each other over and over again, week after week after week. And the other one is so damn schizophrenic. You don't know who likes who or who hates who. And there's no real good guys or bad guys. I'm sitting there I can't just tune in for 20 minutes and get a fucking thing here.
Well, no, that's the thing.
I'm so confused.
On Raw, I don't know who to cheer for, who to boo. But with AEW, at least I know a lot more. They make it a lot easier to understand who the bad guy is. I do. I watch it every week. they have their Monday, Tuesday show. They got a Friday show that's coming out. So I mean, if you stay,
Well, I mean, I watched both their shows. I watched both their YouTube shows a couple weeks ago. I saw some pretty excellent wrestling. Don't get me wrong, but
the storyline,
give me 5 seconds of background and setup. Like
they try to squeeze so much in.
Yeah, they're putting too much in, and then they bill everything as a fucking 20-minute time limit. Like, you couldn't possibly have all those matches on a card of that length of show. Like,
they have a lot of
you're fucking my face.
They have a lot of like 1 minute, 30-second matches on like Elevation and Dark.
But they always announce them as with a 20-minute time limit. Like, that's not even possible. Just tell me it's a 5-minute. Like, what the fuck?
That
like,
builds the ante up a little.
Yeah, give me, you know what I mean? Like, they used to do that all the time. Like, it's a 10-minute match, and you used to use fucking time limit gimmicks. When's the last time you saw a fucking match end because of time? Like
never.
I didn't even know they did that, to be honest.
Yeah.
For me, it was Mr. Perfect and IRS live at the Rosemont Horizon.
Oh.
They went to time limit draw.
Wow.
That sounds fabulous.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Two of the best of the business.
Oh, they put on
Fabulous.
one hell of a match. Perfect had him in the perfect plex at the 0 second, and sorry, time limit draw.
Yeah.
Here's another
Brilliance.
thing. Another thing that AEW does on their website, they keep a win-loss record for every wrestler. What do you guys think about that?
I like the
I
more
saw it the other
sports-based
night. I thought it was kinda
presentation.
cool.
Yes, but they're not. How do I put? They're like putting on the facade of it being a sports-based presentation, but without actually it meaning very much.
Did
In
you?
a lot of ways.
They did a staged
In my
UFC fight. That was pretty bad. I don't know if you guys seen
I don't
that.
think
Stage UFC fight?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think those ever fucking work.
Yeah, it didn't
No,
work.
That doesn't sound
It
good.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Last
I don't know.
time they tried that and had any kind of success, Butterby knocked out one of the guns.
Yeah.
Bart Gunn.
Yeah,
Or gun, yes, thank you.
yeah. Who was the guy they didn't want to win in the first place? So it was
Yep.
total clusterfuck.
Dr. Death Steve Williams, they wanted.
Went down
Yeah.
in the third round, right? Third round, he went down.
Yeah, something like that.
Sassafras, Dr. Death Steve Williams.
So you got a ton of impersonations here?
I watched too much Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard.
What are some of your favorite impressions to do?
Pretty much all the impressions he does. I can't do the justice that Bruce Pritchard does, all these impressions. He's one of the only two that Cody Rhodes will accept as a great Dusty Rhodes impression.
Okay.
Because if anyone else does it, he will walk out of the interview.
Okay.
But no, like you heard me do an Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man
Macho
earlier.
Man's good. Your Macho Man's solid.
I don't know. I would. It'll come back to me later. But if you guys want me to do a certain impression, I'll give it my best.
Yeah. Do you have any $1 Million Man?
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Now to introduce my mystery partner, brought to the ring by his manager, Brother Love. I introduce to you the Undertaker. Sorry, that's the
like
best
it.
one I
The
can
laugh
do.
is good too.
Can anybody do a pallbearer?
Oh, yes, my Undertaker is gonna get you, Hogan. Hogan will not pose, you motherfucker. Like Bruce Pritchard said, when he said that, I was dying laughing for like 5 minutes. If I can just say one thing, like you're talking about the products now, and I'll admit, I have not been watching too much. It's very sporadic and on and off for me. Because the reason why is because I listen to Bruce Pritchard, I listen to Jim Cornette, I listen to the guys who have been around and talk about the times we enjoyed.
Yeah.
And a lot of fans agree with me in that, we would rather listen to the backstory of the times we appreciated rather than keep watching, which, yes, we will agree, these talent that we have now, they are great talent. And I'm not taking a shred of their talent away. And speaking as a former worker, I can appreciate it and what they go through. I'm not going to criticize any of their talent. But watching as a fan, we don't have gimmicks. We don't have all shapes and sizes. We don't have larger-than-life Yokozunas or Bam Bam Bigelows or Andre the Giants to give a threat to the cookie-cutter, muscle-shredded guys that they keep shoving in our face, all wearing black and no other colors. It's
some New Jack shit over there.
Len's ready to go.
I hope I'm not offending you with what I'm saying here.
Oh, no. We need more of Len Oddity in the world. Yeah.
He looked ready to kill me for a second.
No. I was like, you're going on and on. I didn't want to interrupt them. Like, but I'm here. I'm a threat.
Yeah.
I'm not taking any of your threat away there. I buy you as a threat.
I don't know. I respectfully disagree with you because I feel like AEW has gotten me engaged in their product with their wrestlers and their gimmicks. I feel like they're doing such a better job than the WWE, that is.
As far as the wrestling match format and talent goes, I will agree with.
I mean, Kenny Omega is doing it all. I mean, he's got 4 championships. He's a belt collector. I mean, he's doing everything. He's Impact double champion, AEW champion. He's like Mexican, whatever the company is. Yeah, like some Mexican company. He's a champion. I mean, phenomenal.
So they're using their champion to prop up a bunch of companies that don't make money.
Or they're trying to get the viewers of those other companies to watch their product. I mean, I think it's.
I'll take that.
It's working a little bit. I mean, I give him that. It's definitely working.
When I looked at that AEW list the other night, there's a lot of guys I know on there. Sting. I saw. There was now I'm blanking on him. Yeah, there was a ton though of old guys.
Rikishi.
Oh, Rikishi.
He signed to AEW.
Was he on there?
You're gonna have to fact check that.
No, you're thinking of Mark Henry.
Yeah, Mark Henry's an announcer.
Henry. I want to say D'Lo.
Big Show.
We looked up D'Lo. We're gonna try to get him on because he's a Chicago-based guy. Couldn't get a hold of him.
Big Show.
I was gonna take a long shot. Yeah.
Oh, I love me D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
He's
Give me
awesome.
some frog splash all day long.
What was that?
Len, you ever busted out a frog splash here?
Yes, I have busted out frog splash, but usually it's on the top rope to the outside onto a guy on the table.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, let me blow your minds here for a second and change perspective slightly. My intelligence is coming through. It's scary when this happens. Now, take a step back and look at the companies like this. You have WWE. You have an old school company that knows what it does, how to be successful, all its jazz. It's been doing it for so long, so it automatically assumes it's going to be successful, but really has been plateauing and slowly going downhill since it hasn't really had any competition. And you take the AEW, which is a newer company. It's young, it's new, it's fresh, and it's taking newer talent and mixing some into the older talent to bring in the all-encompassing fans, because indie wrestling really has been picking up since the internet has been really developed and spread about more. Social media, if you get out there like that. So really, you take a step back and you look at it, and it's a different version of the wars in the aspect that you have a newer company that's going to make some of the rookie mistakes, but they're also going to look at it as no press is bad press. So bad press is good press. And then you're going to get the older company that's actually going to start having a fire lit under its ass at some point, and it's going to start either giving you a better product or it's going to fizzle and die out finally.
I agree with you.
WWE, and it's going to be the fire under the ass at this point now. It's going to start kicking up. It's just which direction is it going to go? Is it going to go in a good direction or a bad direction?
So to branch off what you said, I think I agree with you, because AEW, they have a lot of the younger guys, but they'll use the legends like Sting to get over the younger talent. Like they're partnering Sting with Darby, and I think it's working. I mean, I think Darby could be out there now without Sting and still go over. Yeah. But you look at the WWE, they're bringing back. They're doing nostalgia acts. They're bringing back Cena. They're bringing back Goldberg. It's the same thing. I've seen this before. I'm tired of it. I've seen this too many times.
Been there, seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That dials back to kind of what he was just talking about, where you have two companies that exist under completely different rule set. WWE being publicly traded means they have a lot more people to answer to. And obviously, we should not ignore the fact that they might be sold to a media conglomerate or God knows what in the next 4 or 5 years.
I keep hearing Disney.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Hulk Hogan versus Mickey Mouse.
I mean, I think it makes more sense if we go to NBC. I don't know who NBC's parent company. I think they're their own entity, but I follow.
Yeah,
well, there's only really 5 companies that own basically all media.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of which branch of one of those falls.
Yeah,
I think AEW is willing to take the risks, and that's something that WWE is not.
But that's because they're not publicly owned.
Yeah.
It's just somebody's money. They can do whatever the fuck they want with their money. When you have to answer to investors, You have a completely different set of priorities.
But you're telling me they can't do better with their storylines? Like, it's just so terrible.
They certainly could do better with their storylines.
Like, come on, they're not even trying.
I'm sure somebody is trying.
Well,
I'm
that's
sure
sad.
there's a lot of people
That's
trying.
sad.
It's failing very fucking epically because they lost the plot 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah. When did they start going public? When did they go public? This
Oh,
company.
A while ago.
That was a while.
Yeah.
You talking like
At
before the
least-
Stone Cold era? and
No,
stuff
no,
like
no,
that?
no, no. It's
Okay, yeah.
within the past 15.
Okay. So yeah, so it's fairly recently.
Yeah,
but
but like,
that's what I'm wondering.
I'm
Is
pretty
that
sure
when it
over
dropped off?
5.
Is that when the gimmicks went down?
They went public the same. I think actually right before they launched the network.
Oh, so that would have been like 13, 14, or 15,
Oh, wow,
somewhere in
okay.
there. Which, to talk about the network real quick, I was very much enjoying the network as it was easy to navigate and find the shit you wanted on it. And I have not gotten onto Peacock because I hear it's just a goddamn nightmare. Sorry.
Yeah,
not
I was
to.
gonna say, watch my namesake. All right? Peacocks are fantastic in any shape, size, or form.
I'm not doing that Peacock.
They're
Yeah.
trying to get it better by SummerSlam. That's what they say.
Yeah, well, all I know is that they started adding the World Class Championship wrestling shit like a month before they cut it off in the United States, and I'm pissed.
Hmm.
Hey, say this again.
So WWE owns basically everybody's tape from the 80s,
Gotcha.
the 90s, right? World Class Championship Wrestling was owned by the Von Erichs, which we talked about Kerry a little bit earlier. His dad, Fritz Von Erich, played like the fucking stereotypical bad
It's a
guy
big
German kind of a thing for a really long time. The point is, they had like the biggest wrestling company in Texas, and it was huge, and it was all over television in the South and in that region. And they started adding all that content to the WWE network. But then when they transitioned to Peacock, they dropped most of the content because they needed to trickle it in slowly because that's not how the fucking internet works or something. I don't know. I'm not a computer scientist or something.
Well, no, that's the other thing. They're editing out like controversial things they did. Like I remember there was the Roddy
What's
Piper
that
did a
too?
blackface. That you can't find that now.
Yeah.
I got
And-
the
and-
VHS of it.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, right.
Can't take that away.
Wasn't that him and, was that Junkyard Dog?
That was it was Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown, sorry.
Yeah,
When
they
did
did.
Roddy Piper do blackface?
It was only half
It
blackface.
was
It's
at
very
WrestleMania
strange.
6. They had an angle going, and Bad News being the badass that he was a legit jiu-jitsu guy.
Okay.
And I can't believe he went with this because it's like, man, Piper, you have a death wish?
Well, he got stabbed 3 times.
Who?
Roddy Piper. That's why he wore the leather coat, because it would. I don't know if it was Kevlar or whatever, but because he got stabbed 3 times. That's how much heat he got.
By like fans?
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, Piper's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
The
got
reason
so
he
much heat.
headlined the first WrestleMania.
Well, what do they call him on Always Sunny? The Maniac?
Yeah.
I love that he popped up in that show. It's like my favorite show, and then all of a sudden Roddy Piper's on it. I'm like, this is fantastic.
I'm sorry, that fucking Invigoron thing, my God. It's like the funniest
He
shit.
ends up getting to the top of the
Yeah.
so
I don't care what anybody says. The greatest fight scene in any movie is still They Live.
Oh, you're
Yes,
100%
I will
right.
agree with that
What is
one.
this?
Great fight. They Live, the sci-fi film that Roddy Piper was with Keith David. They had a fight scene where they are just literally beating the freaking crap out of each other, and
like
it
9
looks
minutes.
real.
Really?
Yeah, they keep going and going and going. It's one of film's greatest fight scenes ever.
I'd like
And it
to
was
see
all
this.
over wearing a pair of sunglasses.
He just
Roddy-
wanted him to
Roddy-
wear. Yeah, sorry,
Yep.
I'll let you
Yep.
say it.
Roddy Piper found a pair of sunglasses. He was just a homeless dude, found a pair of sunglasses. When he put them on, some people look like weird, monstrous aliens. So he tried to get his friend, Keith David, to wear them. And Keith was like, no, I'm not doing it. And they just started fighting over wearing the sunglasses. Like that was the whole fight for 9 damn minutes. Yeah. It might
Speaking
be
of
longer, too. I might
wrestlers,
be wrong.
speaking of wrestlers in movies, they're coming out with a new action figure line that's wrestlers in movies, and it's just, I don't know, they'll do whatever to make money. I don't think it's something I would personally collect, but
Yeah. So it's like
it's a line of action figure. Yeah,
like in the firefighter
Wait,
uniform and shit.
Are they
they're doing a Fast and Furious of John
Oh,
Cena. and
okay, yeah.
are they gonna do Hogan from Suburban Commando?
I don't know. There's only a few of them out.
Antifreeze.
Sorry.
You know what I heard? I heard Big Show's in AEW. They're trying to buy. You guys ever seen Waterboy? Captain Insano. He's trying to buy. They're trying to buy the Captain Insano
That's
gimmick for
awesome.
AEW for him.
That would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
that would be great.
He's actually got a show, a kid's show that's on Netflix. My daughter watched.
Oh, I seen that.
It's called The Big Show, and he's like a dad. But then it comes in like in one of the episodes, it's Foley and Mark Henry and Rikishi are in the
and they're
episode.
singing I want that way.
It was an NSYNC song or something,
Yeah.
like Backstreet Boys or something like that. They're all singing it. It was funny though to see them all together, and
It got
a little nostalgic
canceled.
for me. I was
It
like,
got
that's cool.
canceled.
Yeah,
That show.
I watched
It was kind of cheesy.
It
but
Yeah, it was
just
terrible.
missed the mark. Like it was a little too
yeah,
this and not enough this
Right.
for me. Like
it was a
too much laugh track, not enough adult jokes. Like
Yeah.
it was just like the epitome of stupid sitcom.
Yeah.
But I applaud them for trying.
Right.
yeah. And again, my daughter thought it was hilarious, so maybe we're not the intended audience for that show. but
Apparently not.
Probably
Not enough wrestling for the
I
wrestling
haven't seen
fans.
one
Not enough
episode.
sitcom for the sitcom fans.
That said, fucking Young Rock kills it. That show.
Oh, that is a
hilarious
great
as fuck.
show.
I don't know about this one. What is that?
Oh, it's like the setup is The Rock is running for president and
Oh, I have heard about
David
this show. I haven't
Park,
seen it.
right? Or
Oh.
what's his name? Park, the guy that played Kim Jong in Interview.
Yeah.
He's like
He's hilarious.
the newscaster interviewing him through most of the season, and it's him like telling stories about, when he's a teenager or whatever the fuck.
Gotcha.
Now that
show's
got renewed for a
hilarious.
second season.
Well, yeah, because fucking funny as hell.
It is
Well,
good.
that, and I feel like you put The Rock's name on anything right now, it's gold.
Oh, of course it is. But yeah,
Sorry, I was just going to quickly say, you know what The Rock is really going to kick ass in? Black Adam. Black Adam.
What is that?
A DC villain. He's going to have his
Really?
own movie. And from the beginning, when they did the Captain Marvel or Shazam, movie, I still call him Captain Marvel, even though there's a Marvel Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
And she's a
the villain for Captain Marvel Shazam is Black Adam. And there's only one guy, when you look at the comic you think of, that can play him, and that's Dwayne Johnson,
Yeah.
The Rock.
That's sweet to get him on one of those. I would have rather seen it in Marvel because I think they put out a better product, but that's to be debated. But I would rather see him over there with those guys.
Do you think he's trolling Dave Bautista because Bautista's bitching about how he doesn't want to keep playing shirtless guys his entire career, and The Rock's like, "Fuck you."
You never know.
You never know.
The Rock to me is like the epitome of. Have you guys ever seen the movie Idiocracy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
Luke Wilson.
Oh
And
man,
the president of the United
missing out.
States is actually Terry Crews, and his name's like Camacho Mountain Dew. He's like gets
Elizondo
sponsored. Yeah,
something,
he's got like a
whatever,
million
yeah.
names. When he becomes a president of the United States, I feel like our country is this close to having Dwayne The Rock Johnson legitimately be president in the next couple election terms, and I feel like we're going right to Idiocracy.
I'm very upset that my Ted DiBiase No Joe 2024 election shirt did not come today
come
because I
through?
would have wore that. Yeah.
Well, you still got
Just
some
because it's
time.
funny. It's like a G.I. Joe logo.
Yeah.
It's fucking hysterical. It's DiBiase Duggan 2024.
Who's DiBiase, by the way?
Ted
Ted
DiBiase,
DiBiase, yeah.
the $1 Million Man.
Oh, okay.
The guy you're dressed as.
Oh no, this
Yeah.
is just in my closet.
Oh.
It was laundry.
Got your
It
portrayal.
was laundry day. It was laundry day. That's all I had.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Now, Virgil, rub them toes some more.
I'm so happy you guys walked in. I'm so happy you walked into that joke. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, shit.
That poor kid he made dribble the basketball. He said, dribble this ball however many times and I'll give you this amount of money. And on the last dribble, he kicked the ball and got his heat right there.
We were talking about it off stage a little bit ago. That DiBiase's coming back in. Why don't you tell us a little bit
Oh,
about
God,
your
his
most
fucking-
favorite new wrestling gimmicks?
Honestly, I didn't even bother watching the matches because the promos are just solid gold. Take
Yeah.
5 minutes of your time and Google Ted DiBiase Cameron Grimes and watch the vignette where he's in the fucking jewelry store and the one where he's bidding on a house, and you will laugh your ass off. This is like the funniest shit on earth.
Yeah, you were telling me about him. I haven't actually watched them, but I'm going.
But yeah, it's so good. Who pays $20 million for a house? Ted DiBiase, you're ruining my life, Ted. Like, what the fuck? It's so goddamn funny.
That's
This
hilarious.
guy's just freaking the fuck out. Everywhere he goes, Ted DiBiase's fucking with him. Like, I don't know. To me, that's like, oh, I like that more old timey, like dumb shit. Like,
Yeah.
it just gets me more invested in what the fuck is happening. Like, I don't even, like they could have had the greatest ladder match of all time for that $1 million belt. I don't give a fuck. I'll watch the vignettes and laugh my balls off
Yeah.
from here.
I loved about
Like-
Hulk Hogan. I felt like his character was so great, especially in the NWO days. He went from like the all-American, everybody loves you, to then everyone hated him in NWO, and he was the heel at that point. But like his vignettes and stuff like that in the 80s, him and Macho Man, some of like the back and forth and stuff. I mean, the brother.
Oh, like that
I mean, like some of that
ridiculous
stuff
mega
is,
powers shit.
Well, you know something, me, Gene.
Do you remember the angle they did where he wore the American Mr. America mask or whatever, and it was like
not the mask.
Barely.
yeah, no, the whole gimmick was around the fact that he was trying to convince Mr. McMahon that he wasn't Hulk Hogan, but it was obviously him. But that was the whole gimmick, and I think didn't he like take off his mask and there was another one underneath or something? Wasn't that it?
That sounds.
Or they did it with Andre too, where he came out as
Giant machine.
yeah, giant machine, and he's like, I don't know, I've never seen you guys before, and like it's obviously him. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Fake Razor Ramon and fake Diesel. Sasha Fry. Fake Razor Ramon, fake Diesel.
We might be getting hardcore out here in a second, but that was not supposed to rain tonight. We might just be sitting through it. I'm getting a couple raindrops out here, but
I'm not going to worry about
sit
it
out
too
in the
much.
rain. But everybody's got their price,
Yeah.
So I do want to get to this really fast because I'm going to forget because we're going so deep. I got to get to a couple things here. First off, I'm going to try this on air because I have no repercussions. Some of the rest of us do. So I'm going to try this. This is consumed cannabis product that Brittany over there had helped me out with, hooked us up with to try in the show. Basically, this is like that Mio product, but for weed. So you just put this in your drink. So we're going to do a little, it says you got to squeeze it. Then you turn it upside down. I believe it fills. Let's see how this works. Take a little bit of the cap. We're going to see how this conversation goes after. Pour this in.
That seems kind of dangerous.
Yeah. We're going to see how my tolerance does.
You're doing it old school, just
Yeah,
doing
maybe
it live.
And what are you drinking with that?
This is just water. I just
Okay.
have water here.
Why aren't you just squirting that in your mouth?
Yeah, I can do that.
I was gonna.
Let's
I
try
have
that.
11 balls. You borrow some of mine if you want.
I thought you were drinking moon.
Oh God,
There you
no!
go.
It tastes, if you like the flavor of marijuana, which I do.
If he was
very
drinking
good.
moonshine, he'd have fallen in that effing fire by now.
And Rob, I think you said you were going to try to partake as well. Try to figure out and see if you can make it bottle work a little better than I do. But let's see how this goes. So thank you so much to Consume Cannabis over there for letting us try this stuff out. They also have these little products. Makes me feel like I'm roofing somebody, but I don't think that's how they want to advertise this. But you drop these little tablets into your drink, and this one's for if you want some energy. I'm guessing sativa strain. This one's if you want to go to sleep, guessing an indica. So check these out over there. This one says Love Drops. So if you need a little boost to your libido, try out the Love Drops over there as well.
Why are
Justin-
you staring at me when you say that?
Oh, because you know why.
Oh, you know.
Did anybody see him buy this from the place? Is he roofing me right now?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, yeah,
You've
sure
been
did.
roofied before this. You didn't even know.
Oh, you already put him in my drink
A
earlier.
little piece of paper that were floating around in your beer.
That was acid?
Yes.
Ah,
Hey, now
No,
let's
weed,
not
weed,
construe acid and roofies and weed.
Yeah, this was we're getting
Hey,
getting
now,
off
if anybody
topic.
has any hallucinogenics, we have to share. Sharing is
Yes,
caring.
absolutely. Well, that's why you should have been here today, Len. Well, next time we'll get you out here.
it tastes
we'll
like
send the private
sno-
jet. Yeah.
It tastes like snozberries.
The
Tastes like
snozberries taste like
snozberries.
snozberries?
Yeah.
Do you know what snozberries are?
Why don't you enlighten us?
I happen to have a bad habit of doing a lot of reading and research on random things. From the original novel, when they actually say the part of the snozberries taste like snozberries in Willy Wonka,
Yeah.
it's actually referring to one of Robert Dahl's or Randolph Dahl's earlier works because he actually used to write Exotica. Snozberries are men's junk.
That's a funny little
fantastic.
tidbit. I enjoyed that. Len.
You know,
Thank you.
I have a good question for the both of you twos. What's your favorite match that you guys have been in? Something that we can go check out maybe on YouTube, you know, for all the viewers and everything.
Len, why don't you start?
You want me to start? Oh man, you got about a decade and a half worth of crap on YouTube, so I'm sorry already. Not all of it's good. Yeah. I'd say the barbed wire match. The barbed wire match is definitely a good, fun
Barbed wire
event.
ropes.
Who was that against?
Yep. Dirtbag Dan, a friend of mine. Somebody I had a lot of respect for. Yeah, it was in November 2019. Yeah, I get hit in the head a lot. I don't put my hand up for chair shots, so.
And why is that your favorite match?
Actually, it's one of my favorite matches because it's not just like a hardcore death match. Like, yeah, we have a couple light bulb tubes. I use a straight razor and a kitchen knife in his mouth and stuff like that from the inside. And we take a whole bunch of barbed wire off, and I like do a leg drop with the barbed wire with the shit. But it's actually a story. Like if you actually watch, we're telling a story the whole time. It's not just a bloodbath, not just beating the shit out of each other, violence. That's one of the reasons why I enjoy the way I do hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Wrestling psychology is so important. It just seems like don't even forget about that nowadays, you know. What is the reason? Why are they doing this to each other? You know, that all that stuff gets looked over and it makes so much for a better story, you know, once you have that psychology.
Well, nobody wants to watch something that they don't give a shit about.
Right.
Got to give a shit about one guy, one way or the other.
Yeah, you have to care.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass this around as you guys are talking. We'll keep this conversation rolling. But we do one thing on Bonfire Banter here, and that is sign the X. So the new guests that haven't been on so far, we're going to have you guys sign it, and then we're going to do some forgery here with you, Len, you're going to move your hand around, and then I'm going to sign your name on the X as well. So we'll get that one last. But be careful. It's got no guard on it. Don't cut yourself. I have no shoes on, so don't cut me either. Unless it's part of the gimmick. I don't know if we're doing that. Did we talk about cutting each other with this axe at all?
No.
No, I think it's a little rusty.
No.
I don't know if I.
What about you? What's your favorite match?
Yeah, you boys up on your tetanus shots or what?
No, definitely not.
That was in the. You guys signed off on the disclaimer before you came out here. This was all part of it. I don't know if you read through it, but
I generally don't read.
Yeah.
No, I read a lot.
Reading's tough.
Yeah,
Reading
one of you
things
are
that
gonna
aren't
have to get
cat
up on
memes
that.
are tough.
One of you are gonna have to get up on that ladder and jump down too at some point.
I
so
was thinking.
I'll let you guys choose who.
I was thinking.
Oh,
we
no,
need to
I've
figure out
done the
who's doing it. We need to get a picture at least of some of us on this ladder.
I think
All
I'm
right.
up to number 8.
Len, this is gonna be your time. So you gotta move your hand around, and we can see it. Yes. So we know this is very legit. Okay, Len.
Wait, hang on. Let me get my straight razor. Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, there you
Theater
go.
magic.
Boom.
Just a
You're
bunch
on.
of scribbles in a big circle.
E-signature.
Yeah.
You're right there, brother.
He signs with an X.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite match?
Oh, well, I would have to say my debut match with Rough Crossing. And he was my trainer. No nonsense about it all. Taught me a lot. Jimmy Blaze taught me a lot. And I can't go way too much into it because I have too much respect for them. But it was a learning experience. I was nervous as hell. I didn't think I was going to pull it off. And apparently to the audience, from what they all reacted with, they just made me feel like I did my job out there.
Hell yeah.
And I just did what I was told, and the rest is history.
That's awesome.
Well,
It's got to be a good feeling.
I know I got a lot of questions. That's a follow-up question for both of you guys. Like, how does the crowd make you guys feel? Like go into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Got to be able to feed off that, right? I mean, like you were saying, when you're in the middle of it and you're going, I mean, adrenaline's pumping, I'm sure, as soon as you're coming down to even get in the ring. But yeah, like to Eddie's point there, how does that make you move? How does that bring your energy when you're hearing that? Or
I used to I didn't even touch on this, but Al Lipper and I used to play in a band. It's really no different because you get the butterflies in your stomach and you're nervous as hell for the first few minutes. And then when you start to ease into your place up there on the stage, in the ring, it starts to flow naturally as if, you're in the moment and the audience isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
It's indescribable.
Yeah. How about you, Len?
Keith, what was the name of the band?
Oh, yeah, sorry, go.
Crunch.
That was the name of the band, Crunch?
Yes,
Yep,
it was.
Crunch.
Did Nestle get pissed about that at all or what?
No,
No?
Nope.
unless you make money, nobody gives a fuck
Yeah.
what you do.
Right.
And then, so Len, how does the crowd affect you? Do you try to get any fan interaction or you kind of...
Now, if you asked me this about 10 years ago, I would have said that like I didn't really even hear the crowd, whether I wanted to or not. I just did my shtick, and that was the thing. After at one point I got injured, almost had to have my foot amputated. Ended up not getting amputated, which kind of sucked because I would have liked to have had the foot on the side, but whatever. But I ended up doing interactive sideshow acts. It's actually interesting you brought up the band because I actually do one of the most interactive sideshow acts in the Upper East Coast and, as far as I'm aware, the United States. I let people actually hit me in the head with cookie sheets and frying pans and staple gun money in my body, and I do the barbecue skewers in my own head and see how many I get to stick.
I saw the skewers in your
Wow.
head thing. That was wild. I watched the video.
One of my patented stunts is, because it's real, I actually take a light bulb and I put it in my mouth. And I let somebody tase me in the stomach until it lights. We call it the Uncle Fester.
That worked?
Yes, yes, it
That's
does.
That's the coolest thing. That's the
That
coolest
is
thing I've ever heard.
Now, let me ask, do you
Why aren't you doing this right now?
I'm doing it all the time. I've done casino shows. I do
Oh, he's
adult
talking
birthday parties. I
physically
do
right now.
tattoo conventions. I will cut you guys a huge deal. Like I could do the drive from Texas to you guys. Like I'll cut you guys a huge deal. Hit me up after this and you'll
Dude,
have a
we'll
whole
talk,
show.
we'll talk.
'Cause I have an hour of shit, but he's
Hell yeah.
right when he was bringing up the band stuff because it's a completely different thing. All right, like when you actually interact with the crowd, when you start like really interacting with it, the sideshow helped me get comfortable with the crowd, and now you put me in the ring, and 90% of what I'm doing, I'm pulling out of my ass on the spot because I'm interacting with the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few wrestlers that actually interact with them all the time, and that's one of the things that's actually helped gain any momentum in my career in the last decade, is because not many guys will actually stop and talk to the guy in the front row. Hey, you want to see some thumbtacks? Sure. You want me to take this 18-inch double-headed dog and stick it up his ass while I'm riding him like a fucking cowboy? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Let's do it. There's video of that in a couple matches too.
This is wrestling?
Just saying.
now?
Yeah,
Do you normally?
Is that like Sunday nights for you or something?
No. That's wrestling. That's wrestling. My personal life is a completely different morbid scene that you really don't want to get into without a lot of counseling beforehand.
Now, do you normally play the heel?
Actually, I'm a face when I have face paint on. I
Okay.
do nothing wrong. I have permission from Goldust to do the Shattered Dreams, except I do it differently. I do it 10 times. So I can kick him 9 times in the balls, and I do a running 10th one. The crowd counts it out.
Now, let me ask you this: Do you have a different appreciation for the fans post COVID?
Oh, big time. Because I actually haven't done a wrestling show since February of 2020. Like that was the last time I was in the ring. I'm very happy I got to do that barbed wire match because it was changing the gimmick a little bit and not holding back, because I kind of held back for a solid 15, 16 years. Imagine me getting crazier. But that interaction, it's kind of almost a natural high to an extent. And it's a different level of connection with energies. It's just almost unarticulable.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I think that's a smart move to be interacting. I mean, I even feel like some of the best comedians do the same thing, is that like, it's hard to go out there and talk to the crowd and then, use that as an improv in that moment and pull that in and start doing stuff. I think that even trying to get fans and stuff like that. I mean, if you talk to me and I'm at a show and you talk to me for 2 seconds and say, "Oh, what do you want to see?" And I say tax, all of a sudden you start bringing some tax out. I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like those interactions, I feel like you'll get lifelong fans by having those interactions because it is special. It's different.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Like how many times do you go to a rock concert or any concert for that matter and you're talking to anyone involved with the band? Never.
Oh, more for me than you. But
Well, yeah. Well, you're behind the scenes a little bit, but yeah.
A little bit, not much.
So no, I think that's a brilliant move on your part to interact with the fans and get that going. Because again, longevity and how long you've been doing it and stuff, I feel like that's the right move. You create those fans that are going to be loyal to you, just because they had that one experience, maybe one time out at a show. But that's pretty cool.
All right, I got to ask a Mark-ass question to old boy here.
Yeah.
So you said you have permission from Gold Dust, a.k.a. The Natural. I would just like to know what your relationship with him is, because I think he's probably the most underrated motherfucker to walk the face of the earth, in my personal opinion.
I will definitely agree. He is completely underrated, especially for what he's doing in his age. It's just incredible. Oh God, what year was it? Shit. I want to say 2015. It was back when I was doing the blood splatter paint and I was still wearing a singlet. I was working a full weekend of shows out in New York City. And he was on all three. And I'm weird. I was trained old school. So when I go to a show, I go up, hello, sir, I'm Len Oddity, shake your hand. This is me breaking kayfabe right now. But yeah, I'd shake your hand, hello, sir, I'm Len Oddity, thank you for your time. Turn around and walk away. And I won't bother him. I won't go up, ask for pictures or anything like that. I just pay attention to my business because I'm a businessman at the same time. Yeah, I'm a marketing fan, but you're paying me for my time and my product. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to give you the best damn product I got. So I show up to the shows like this. So it's fun driving 5 hours in face paint. But I
dig the dedication.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out.
Hell yeah.
Not a lot of guys.
The rest of this is tattooed,
really
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are missing the fucking mark there with that, in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Valid. But I ended up the Friday, I did the show with him and just did the, hello, sir, evening, go do my shit. And didn't really interact with me, but he kept kind of eyeballing me. Saturday, Queen show, do that one. Go up, shake his hand, blah, blah, blah. And I'm there touching up my face paint a little bit because I was working with somebody, kid, and I wanted to, make sure he knew what to do and be safe. I don't mind working with greenhorns as long as I get a little bit of time in the ring with him beforehand. And I'm touching up my face paint, all of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. Who the fuck's knocking on the door? I open the door. He's like yelling, who the fuck's in the bathroom? I open the door and go, me? He goes, oh, okay. Shut the door, finish up really fast. He's already gone. Friggin' 15, 20 minutes later, he comes up to me and he goes, I love your face paint. I'm a big mark for face paints and stuff. I think you do a really good job with it. And I just wanted to compliment you on it. And I go, thank you. Some of it's actually tattoo though. He was like, oh, that's even cooler. And he even started making a couple comments how me and him should have been booked against each other or with each other at some point. And I just was I made my mark moment and went, I got to admit something, sir. I'm a mark for you. He just started laughing. And I go, I actually do the Shattered Dreams, but I do it a little differently than you. He starts laughing. He goes, oh, if you want to do it, you do it different? How do you do it different? And I go, well, I don't kick him in the balls once. I actually give the crowd the choice. And he goes, what do you mean? Well, I can kick him in the balls once, or I can kick him in the balls 10 times. And he's just staring at me and he goes, you're a face. And I go, yeah. How do you get away with that? I just kind of shrugged. And they count it. He's like, you can do it all you want. I was like, yes.
That's awesome.
That was it. I didn't do it that night, but yes.
That's badass.
Oh, super badass.
Yeah, especially for the guy's a legend. I mean, some of the names you guys are throwing around, I'm like, not super familiar with, but talking Gold Dust here, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about.
He's in AEW.
Yeah. See, that was another one that I saw. I was surprised by the amount of guys in AEW that I knew.
I watched their YouTube show when he wrestles because I just geek out every time I see him in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
So I have since I was like 5 fucking years.
That was the weirdest character to me when as a kid. Like, all the gold stuff, he's like real sexual.
But that's
and
the thing. I remember him
cool.
from
It
before.
stuck out in your mind.
You know what I mean? Like I remember him from before, and I was like, "Oh, this is some bullshit." And then you see him do that, like, fucking weird street fight thing with Piper and the bad spray painted.
Oh, that was fucking awesome. Yes.
Yeah, and the fire hose and all the bullshit. It was retarded. And they did like this fucking OJ chase scene thing. Like,
I was using the footage.
Yeah, they literally used the footage from the OJ chase. It was hysterical because fucking Piper takes off in a white Bronco.
Yeah, I do remember this one.
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
So good. So good.
I think I heard that Dustin didn't like that gimmick, the gold dust gimmick, really.
Really?
Yeah, because
He did it.
No?
when he went to WCW and they gave him a gimmick. I think it was 7 was the name of the gimmick, and like he came out like all white with this hat, and he finally gets to the ring, and it's just completely blows the promo. It's just like, this is stupid. I mean, you'd have to go watch it. I can't.
That is the greatest.
Yep.
That is probably the greatest promo of all time. The 7 promo.
Yeah, he just says screw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gave his real opinion on national television, and he's like,
Okay.
they put me in this fucking outfit, this stupid gimmick.
Yeah, he's like, this is the reason I left WWE for gimmicks
Yeah.
like this, and he's like, then they do this to me.
Because he wanted to come back. He wanted to be himself. He wanted to be the fucking natural like he was before,
Okay.
and
so-
they fucked him around.
yeah.
And then we get more gold dust later.
That's what I was wondering too. Is like, who was he before? The natural. Now
Yeah.
it's coming back to me. Okay.
I have a good question for Len. Now, like a normal match, I know there's a lot of like practice and preparation, but like for a barbed wire match, like how do you prepare for that? Like how? Okay, so like
Great question.
obviously you're not gonna like just take the bumps into the barbed wire when you're rehearsing, right? Or do you?
Well, first off, just so you know, I train, but most of the people I wrestle, we don't rehearse beforehand. In fact, most of my matches, we only call, if to really break kayfabe here, like I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyways. Damn clown. Anyways, I call out the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds. So everything
in
within
between.
a 8 to 15-minute match is literally boop, right out my butt.
So it's just
Interesting.
you're just improvising. Then.
That's the way it
Wow.
used to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's called working.
Right. Right.
The only thing you'll really talk about sometimes, like especially for like a barbed wire match, is okay, maybe we want to use these weapons before, or you're like, okay, we have a certain set of weapons we want to use, and we have a plethora that we could just grab from in the middle. Cool. But like as far as it goes with like the hardcore stuff, to be perfectly honest, I'm not a masochist. Let's get that straight. I don't enjoy pain. I just know how to turn it off like that. And I have a natural high pain threshold to begin with. So that being said, I know what's safe and not safe. I've been set on fire 3 times, covered in 2nd and 3rd degree burns. I've gotten
Wow.
shocked 4 times, all from hardcore matches. I've lost teeth. I've had bones broken, jaws broken. Like I said, I almost had my foot amputated from a match. That was a regular wrestling match. It kept going. But I will not do something in a wrestling match that either I don't know is mostly safe or that I wouldn't do to myself. And I've had a lot of things I've done to myself. That being said, like, okay, my sideshow act, I lay on a bed of barbed wire. Like literally it's just fucking barbed wire. It's real barbed wire wrapped around a plank board. And I let somebody stand on my stomach and jump up and down on me. You guys can feel the barbed wire when I come out. And I'm not going to break the gimmick. If I can make it in time, depending on when you guys want to do this, I might have a world record breaking trick. That I have a friend of mine named Phoenix Fire who's out in London. He holds 200 plus world records for sideshow stunts. And me and him came up with this stunt that's never been done in the world before, and I'm in the process of building it. And that's
We'll
going
be
to be
talking.
barbed
We would
wire and
love to
stuff.
have it on this show. So
Hell yeah.
we will talk to you afterwards.
Like stuff like that, it's just being safe. Like I'm not going out there to kill the guy. Yeah, I'm going to go out there to hurt you and maim you a little bit and to prove a point that the skinny clown can, level the playing field with some sharp objects and stuff. But, it's really just having the balls to take it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, every barbed wire match, including the first one, like I didn't know what I was going to do in the first No World barbed wire match I ever did. And that was literally the first one in the state of Connecticut in 2007. Nobody had ever done a No World barbed wire match. And my dumbass, middle of a 20-minute match, looks over to the ring crew and goes, "Give me the clippers." I then proceed to cut off the ends on one entire side of the barbed wire, knock both guys out, set up a ladder, and pull the spool of barbed wire up like a pair of pants and climb up the ladder and do a leg drop off the top of the ladder. I've now done it every fucking time. There's no preparing for that because you're getting fucking barbed wire in your ass and your thighs. I have scars all over. Yeah. Take it like a man.
That's crazy. Yeah. So then, as far as when you were getting in your matches and stuff like that, how scripted was it? Kind of like that, where little beginning, little end, figure it out in the middle, or?
I mean, I don't know how much I can really say.
And
I
that's
don't know.
fine, but
Like he was saying, we're kind of on a omerta kayfabe code here.
Okay,
and I don't know how much I've already
break any codes, but yeah,
I don't know how much I've already said where Jim Blaze, Scott Spade, or Rough Crossing may want to kill me after this.
Yeah.
But I no longer work for
they're
them.
not watching.
But just to be clear, if they are watching, I want to at least pay enough tribute and respect to what they taught me.
Yeah.
And I can't really give away way too much. I mean, you've listened to the podcasts, you've seen the behind the scenes of a lot of things.
Yeah.
You have a general idea.
Okay.
I, as a
That's
performer, still have, as much as I'm not doing it and I still respect it, I just don't feel I can break kayfabe.
Hey, I'm cool with that. Magician never tells his tricks. I can dig it.
In my defense, the only reason why I share any of my tips is because you can actually go look up Just Incredible Pro Wrestling 101 on YouTube. There's a free plug for you, buddy.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Absolutely. We give shameless plugs to just about everybody. So that's always welcome here on the Bonfire Banter. So who is climbing this ladder and who's jumping off of it? I'll jump off it and hit somebody with the belt or something. Who wants to get hit in the head? So I think we've been going for quite a while here. Rob, you got anything for me back there?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say this THC brew enhancer is getting me ready to defend this belt. Which one of you wants to take it from me? You?
Take it from you, boy.
You? Who wants it? It's hitting me pretty hard. That's all. That's my point.
So the consume cannabis product has worked. So that was a success. Thank you again, Brittany, over there. Check them out. If you're going to consume cannabis. They're over there in Oak Brook. But I do want to say thank you to everyone for coming out tonight. The mustached maniac over there, Al Lipper himself. Thank you so much for coming back on, man.
Thanks for having me.
I know that we were a little worried you weren't going to be able to make this one.
I know the scheduling got a little weird, and
Yeah.
I apologize for that, but I was too stoked to talk about this kind of shit because, I don't know. I very much enjoy it. I like the, how do I put it? If you like action movies and you don't like wrestling, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And if you like going to a carnival and you don't like wrestling, you're an idiot. And, there's about a million other fucking things that I could say about it. But, it's basic storytelling to a point and a purpose. And, there should be more of it. And, it should be excellent as I remember it being.
Yeah.
But, like all businesses, there's ebbs and flows and high points and low points. And right now things are kind of turning into a high point. And I have good hopes that there's going to be even better product and more entertaining shit going on in the future.
That's good. Let's hope you're correct on that one. Eddie, finally get you out on the panel. I'm happy about that. It's something you love to talk about. So thanks for being on as well, bro.
I'm happy to be here. Glad to be. Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for
couldn't
putting
agree
us
with you more.
together, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie, definitely was, reached out and wanted to do this one, and we threw it together in a couple weeks, and a lot of it was just you guys chatting all week and talking about this stuff, getting riled up. So appreciate you guys getting into it and coming out here and talking. And then Billy, one more time, thanks for coming out, man. We really appreciate it, and it was fun having you out.
It was an honor. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't answer your
No,
previous
it's
question
good,
there.
man. It's all good.
Want to stay respectful to the business.
But then Len Oddity over there, you've been fantastic as well. We got a guy from Texas now too. That's fantastic. So
Best damn guest I've seen on the show.
yeah, you've been
Video
fantastic.
game,
Len.
that's all I'm gonna say.
Seriously, anytime.
Yeah, thanks, Len.
Killed it, bro.
And then we'll be talking to you soon about some future stuff. And you guys got something there for Len back in the production tent, don't you? We signing him out? Okay, so we'll hit him here in just a second. Bonfire Banter, you guys keep tuning in. We got some beers for me? You guys throwing something in here?
Yeah. Hold on.
We're going to be doing a couple different things here in a upcoming week, so keep tuning in, keep checking us out, keep subscribing, liking. Thank you to all the sponsors as well. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. Shout out to the Basement Boys as well. And anyone you want to plug over there, Len?
Just my website, wetoddity.com. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, I do all kinds of events. Party fell, at least it wasn't open. Yeah.
I have to go to work.
For booking, so everyone wants to party with the clown.
Keep it
Hell yeah, we'll be talking to you soon. Keep stoking those fires. Bonfire Banter signing out.
Dealer, I'm a faith healer, I'm a soul stealer, and I'm coming for you. I'm a dream breaker, I'm a truth maker, I'm a cold-blooded killer, and I'm coming for you. And there's nothing you can do. I'm coming for you.
Thanks for watching the episode. Thank you to everyone that's been subscribing, liking, commenting. Keep doing that. It means the world to us. Did want to say thank you to all of our amazing sponsors. York Furrier. If you're looking for fine outerwear and furs, go check them out in Elmhurst, right on York Road. More Brewing Company. If you're looking for interesting, creative craft brews and food, go check them out in Villa Park and Huntley. JPL Landscaping and Property Services. They've given us this fantastic firewood once again, so they're going to be keeping us warm for quite a while. Thank you so much, Jim. Mike's and Casey's Meat Markets. Well, we love their meats. That's as simple as it gets there. Thank you guys for your support as well. Jay and Jill Create, you guys are part of the family. Really appreciate everything you've done for us. Claremont Collections, the most impressive private car collection in the city. It is a museum. Go check them out. Consume Cannabis. If you're going to consume cannabis. And then Angel Fancies is our newest sponsor, giving us this fantastic new sign. Check it out. Beautiful stuff. She does custom signs, shirts, everything else. Anything you need printed, check them out on Spring Road in Elmhurst. And as always, the Basement Boys. We love you guys. Bunch of crazies there. We love them. Bonfire Banter, keep watching. Thank you so much, everyone supporting us. Keep stoking those fires.